Hello friends, welcome to Gyan Gurukul classes. So today we are going to learn about how in the long run we derive the average cost curve. Okay, the AC curve or the average cost curve in the long run, right? We'll see how we derive this curve, right? See, in the short run, the particular firm it uses its production process in a particular plant size, right? The plant will have a particular size. Okay, so let me draw it here. This is y-axis and this is x-axis, right? In the x-axis we are taking what we are taking? We are taking the amount of the particular product produced. So it is denoted by x. Okay, the amount we produce, right? And in this y-axis we are showing the cost, right? Here we are showing the cost of production, right? Now suppose this is a particular short run average cost curve, right? This is a short run average cost curve. Clear? Now this particular short run average cost curve is showing a particular plant size. Okay, it is showing a particular plant size. Okay, right? This is the particular size of a plant. Okay, in this plant, if we produce up to this much, okay, if we let's say we are producing at this point, okay, at this point at x1 amount of the particular product we are producing this much. Sorry, so in this case the amount of cost, it would be somewhat here. Okay, this let me draw a straight line. This is not a straight line, but assume it is a straight line, and this is the cost. Okay, the cost is say C1, right? Now as we move in this way, in this direction, towards the right side, okay, as we produce further and further, let's say this much of the product X, say X2, now the cost have decreased to C1 to C2, right? So why this is because of the decreasing cost, okay, or we can say the increasing returns to scale, right? Because of the increasing returns to scale, what we see the cost is decreasing initially as we move along the plant size. Okay, as we move along the plant size, as we increase the production, initially the cost decreases, right? And then we reach a particular minimum point. Okay, at this point the cost is minimum, and beyond this, if we further increase production, the cost cannot fall beyond this. Okay, at this point we have reached the minimum point. Okay, after this, if we have to increase the production, okay, if we have to increase the production, see, the cost have again increased. Okay, from here it has increased, and say this is at this point, right? So this is the cost now. Okay, the cost is increasing beyond this lowest minimum point of this particular plant size. Clear? Now say this is SSC1. Okay, this is representing a particular plant, right? Now let's say there is another plant. Okay, let's say there is another plant. This is SSC2. Okay, it is represented by the short run average cost 2. Okay, this represents plant 2. Okay, plant 2. Now see, this plant 2, the size of this plant 2 is greater than the initial plant. Okay, the size of the plant 2 is greater than the plant 1. Clear? In this case, see, up to this point, okay, up to this point, okay, it doesn't matter whether the producer produces in plant 1 or in plant 2, because if up to this point, say this is x3, up to x3, if he produces whether in either in plant A, then also the amount of cost would be similar. And even if he produce in the second plant, that is in plant 2, then also his cost would be same, right? Because both are at the intersection point. Clear? Now see what happens if the farm anticipates that the demand is going to increase further. Okay, see, whenever the farm is going to produce something, he in a mind, or the producer in his mind, would anticipate a particular level of demand in the market. Okay, the producer would anticipate a particular level of demand in his mind, right? So let's suppose that the particular producer have anticipated that the demand is going to increase to say x4. Okay, x4, the demand is going to increase to x4. He have anticipated that, right? Now let's see, in order to produce x4 amount of the particular product, if the producer uses the initial plant, that is the plant 1. Okay, if he uses plant 1, then how much he would have to bear as a cost. Okay, so see, if he produces in plant 1, then the cost would have been this much. Okay, the cost would have been this much. Say this is C star. Okay, C star amount of cost he have to borrow, right? Now if we move to plan 2, okay, if the producer moved to plan 2, then how much it would cost him? See, it would cost him this much. Okay, let's denote it as C double star. Okay, it would cost him less, right? Okay, he is producing the same amount, that is x4, but if he produces in the initial plant, okay, in plant 1, then it would cost him C star, which is greater than what it would cost him if he produce in the second plant, right? And the plant 2 is greater than this in the size. Okay, the size of plant 2 is greater than plant 1, right? So anticipating the amount of demand, okay, anticipating the demand for the particular product, the producer decides in which plant he is going to produce, or which plant he is going to produce in which particular plant size, right? Okay, and keeping in mind that which particular plant would best satisfy his amount to be produced, he would install that particular plant. Okay, he would install plant 2 in this case, right? Because it would cost him less, right? Because it would cost him less. Now further say he anticipates more demand, right? He anticipates more demand up to the minimum point. Okay, let's say up to the minimum point, his cost will decrease. Okay, his cost will decrease, and at this point, this is the point of optimal size of the plant. Okay, remember, in any if you draw a average cost curve, the lowest minimum point, it represents the optimal plant size. It represents the optimal plant size. Why? Because this is the optimal size that you have to use. Okay, beyond this point, if you further use the plant, then average cost is going to increase because of various problems like operational disefficiency, right? Or more than use of the capital assets, okay, that may occur, which should increase the average cost of production, right? Now see, in this case also, let's say there is another plan which is denoted by SSE3. Now SSE denotes plant which is plant 3. Okay, and this plant 3 is greater than both plant 2 and 1, right? The size of plant 3 is greater than both the size of plant 2 and 1, right? Now in this case, let's say up to this point, it would not matter for the producer whether he uses SSE2 or SSE3, because both would cost him the same amount of cost, right? Same amount of cost. But beyond this particular point, let's say this is x5, if we have to increase output beyond this level, that is beyond x5, in that case further increase would encourage him to go for plant 3. Okay, further increase in output would encourage him to go for plant 3, because at this point the cost incurred is less. Okay, the cost incurred is less than what he would incurred in if he produces in SSE2 or the plant 2, right? So in this way, see, remember one thing, in this way we can show that for a particular output to produce, okay, for a particular output level to produce, there is a minimum, there is a optimal point that represents the minimum cost. Okay, for a particular output level, okay, for a particular output level to produce, right, we have a optimal point. We have an optimal point for the producer where what, where the cost is minimum, right? And the long run cost curve, okay, the long run cost curve is nothing but actually it is the locus of all the points which represents the least or the minimum cost for producing the corresponding level of output. Okay, let me say it again. The long run average cost curve is nothing but the locus of all the points which represents the minimum cost for producing the corresponding level of output, right? So let me draw it here, the long run average cost curve. So first let me draw the y-axis here. This is the x-axis. So x, and here cost, right? Cost is denoted by C. Okay, the long run cost curve would look like something like this. Okay, and here we see several short run cost curves. Okay, short run average cost curve, right? In this way, right? Okay, now see, if I have to produce this amount of output, say x1, in that case this is the minimum cost. Okay, this is the minimum cost possible, right? This is the minimum cost possible, and this is denoted by this curve, say SSE1, right? SSE1 represents what? Represents plant 1, or the size of plant 1. Okay, if I have to produce x1, I would use what? I would use the SSE1, or I would use the plant 1. Okay, I would use plant 1, which would cost me, say, C1 amount of money to produce x1, right? Now if I have to produce this amount, okay, let's say this amount, how much? Say x2, right? Now in order to produce x2, if I use this plant, okay, this plant, say plant 2, now plant 2 would cost me how much? Say C2. Okay, this is the average cost curve for plant 2. Okay, this is the average cost curve for plant 2, and this short run average cost curve of plant 2 is showing what? This at this point where it is tangent to the long run average cost curve, it is showing the minimum point. Okay, the minimum possible cost in order to produce x2. Okay, it is showing the minimum possible cost in order to produce x2 amount of output, right? In this way we can say, for a particular, let's take any particular level of output, this long run average cost curve will give us the minimum possible cost that we can, at which we can produce that certain quantity, right? Let's take say this amount. Okay, let's say this is x3. Now in order to produce x3, let us go here upwards, and we have found that this could be produced at this point, let's say at C3 amount of cost. And now this could be effectively produced by which plant? It could be effectively produced by SSE3 or the plant size 3, right? Okay, and remember one thing, the point where, okay, at the lowest minimum point of the long run average cost curve, okay, this is what our long run average cost curve. Okay, the lowest minimum point, say this one. Okay, this is the lowest minimum point of our long run average cost curve, right? This is the lowest minimum point of our LSC. Clear? Now at this point, see, at this point, the particular plant size, which is represented by the SSE4, okay, or let's say this is plant 4. Okay, this is the short run average cost curve of plant size 4, right? Now this particular curve is tangent to the long run average cost curve at its lowest minimum point, that is this particular point, let's say denoted at E. Okay, so E is the lowest minimum point of both the long run average cost curve and the short run average cost curve as well. Okay, E is the lowest minimum point, which is also the lowest minimum point of short run average cost as well as the long run average cost, right? Okay, so this is the optimal plant size. Okay, in the long run, if we say this particular plant size denoted by SSE4, that is the plant 4. Okay, plant 4 is the optimal or the minimum cost plant size for the particular producer or the production house, right? Okay, so in the long run also, what would happen in the long run at the lowest minimum point? Okay, in the long run at the lowest minimum point, the producer has produced, say, this much. Okay, this much, say x5 at a cost say this one C5. Okay, C5 cost, he is producing x5 at C5. This would be the lowest minimum cost possible, or this would be the optimal size. Okay, this is the optimal size of the plant, right? This is the at this point, see one thing you have to remember, towards this side of point E, towards the left side of point E, if you see the short run average cost curve, okay, if you see the short run average cost curve, they were producing at a less than their optimal size. They were producing towards the left of point E. Plants were, the various plants were producing, they were producing what? They were producing at a below level of their optimal plant size, or optimal production, right? See, the optimal plant size of any plant is achieved at the lowest minimum point of that particular plant's short run average cost curve, right? See, at this curve, if we say short run average cost curve of 1, the optimal plant size is achieved where it is the lowest minimum point, say this point, right? In the short run average cost curve 2, that point is achieved at this point here, over here, right? Similarly, here we can say this is the point, but here the lowest minimum point of SSE4 is also tangent to the lowest minimum point of the LSE, right? Okay. So one thing we can see from this curve, that towards the left of point E, that is the lowest minimum point of LSE, right? The plants were producing at a lower level or below level than their optimal plant size. Okay, they are producing at the level which is below their optimal plant size. Okay, right? So that is why what was happening, that is why cost was decreasing. Okay, cost was continuously falling, right? Cost was falling because they were operating at less than optimal size, right? Cost would increase only after you exceed the optimal plant size, right? Cost would increase only when you exceed the optimal plant size. See, if we look towards the right of point E, okay, to the right of E, if you see towards the right of E, see, in this case, in all this case, we are operating the lowest minimum cost possible, represented by tangency of the successive short run average cost curve with the long run average cost curve. These points, say this point or this point, they are towards the right of their minimum lowest minimum point. See here, if I take about this curve, let's say this is SSE5, right? In this curve SSE5, the tangency point is here. Okay, the tangency point is here, but the lowest minimum point is here, right? The lowest minimum point is here. That means they are operating beyond their lowest minimum point, right? They are producing it towards the right of their lowest minimum point, which means that they are operating more than at a higher level than their optimal size, right? They are operating at the operating higher than optimal size, Now, when a farm produces at a higher than optimal size, it would be problematic for him. Why? It would lead to diseconomies of scale, right? It would lead to diseconomies of scale because of it may lead to inefficiency of the managers, right? It may lead to inefficiency of managers because managers may be used to you may force the managers to work overtime, right? You may force the managers to work overtime, which should decreases efficiency, right? That may be one thing. Or what may happen, you may use your capital assets or machines more than they could actually use for. Okay, you may use them overtime, which can also lead to these economies of scale, right? So because of these economies of scale, the portion towards the right of the lowest minimum point of LSE, it is increasing, right? It is increasing. Clear? Right? So we have seen two things. What are the two things? First thing is that towards the left of point E, which happens to be the lowest minimum point of long run average cost curve, the plants were operating in a point which is below their optimum plant size, right? Which is below their optimum plant size, and that is why the cost was decreasing, right? That is why the cost was decreasing, and when the cost was decreasing, that means the average cost curve is falling, right? When the cost was decreasing, that means the average cost curve was falling, right? So we see the negative slope here, right? Now after point E, remember the point E is what is this? This is the optimal point. Okay, this is the optimal at point E. The particular plant is operating at the maximum possible level or the optimum level. Okay, it is operating at the optimum level, right? Now, beyond that level, when we go towards the right of point E, we see that what we see. We said the plants are operating towards the right side or above its maximum possible level or the optimum level. Okay, the plants were operating at a higher level than the optimal plant size, right? The plants were operating at a point which is above its optimal plant size, and as a result, what was happens? Cost increasing, which led to average cost to increase. Okay, so beyond point D, average cost starts to increasing, right? So that's why we see a U-shaped long run average cost curve, right? So remember, basically three things. First thing is that the long run average cost curve is the locus of all the points. Okay, it is locus of all the points which represents at least which represents the least or the minimum cost for producing the corresponding level of output. Okay, so this average cost curve here is showing all the any point take any point in the production, the amount of production. Okay, and that would represents the lowest minimum cost to be produced. Okay, it would represent the lowest minimum cost where we can produce that particular level of output with the help of the LSC curve. Okay, that is the first thing. Then the second thing is that at point E, or the lowest minimum point of LSC, okay, the plant is operating at its optimal plant size. Okay, at lowest minimum point of LSC, a plant is operating at the optimal plant size. Towards the left, the plant is operating at a lesser level than the optimal plant size, and that's why cost is decreasing, right? And towards the right side, the plant is operating at a higher level than its optimal plant size, which results in cost to increase. That's why we see a we see a U-shaped long run average cost curve, right? That's why we see a U-shaped long run average cost curve. So that is what you have to know about the long run average cost curve. In the next class, we shall learn how the long run marginal cost curve is, derived, right? So thank you, and a request to you, if you guys like our video, then please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to our channel so that you can get our notifications, okay, as we upload our videos. And also, if you find anything wrong in our videos, and if you want to suggest us something, then please help us in the comment section by commenting, right? Thank you.